What's up guys, Dragon Mission Knight 7 here again for you. Follow up to my previous video. I'm going to make a deck profile for you guys like I promised. Figured I'd go ahead and get it out of the way early. Like I said in the video, this is going to be my Atlantean deck profile. Just a heads up on the whole thing, I don't really side for it, so it's not really going to make any sense to do a side deck part to it, but I will do extra deck. Not really looking for any kind of help on this. Just thought it'd make for a good video. So yeah. Anyways, start off with the monster lineup. I run 3 Spine Gillman. Spine Gillman makes for a good, 400 addition to all your monsters, and with Atlanteans having a lot of more powerhouse combo monsters, that makes for a good add, good monster to have. And it's a good search out for another card in my deck. I run 3 Warriors of Atlantis. This guy I run because of his special ability. He's basically Captain Gold for water monsters. Discard him, search out the field spell, which I'll get to the real name of the field spell later on and get into the magics. So yeah, it makes for a good option if you combine it with another spell card in my deck. You get a better chance of getting like at least 2 of my fields in my hand. Next up is my tuner engine for this deck. Most people wouldn't really run the most of this, but 3 Deep Sea Divas, because they're good searchers. Makes it easier to get out stuff like Gilman. So yeah. Next up is all the doubles. Mother Grizzly is basically the Mystic Tomato of my deck. I've run 2 of them because you can summon one, it gets destroyed, search out the other, it gets destroyed, summon something else. It keeps the field with at least 1 monster in it. Next up is Poseidra, the Atlantean Dragon. This is the powerhouse of the deck, for one of them at least. And it's basically forget the name of the dragon, that one water monster, but it's basically like another water card, but in this case you can tribute 3 level 3 or lower water monsters, and I can special summon this from my hand or graveyard. So if I have it in my grave, I can basically pop anything low level, like with the level 3 I have, and get this monster out on the field. So I have like 3 level 2s or lower like that. I can pop all of them, get my monster on my field, get him out of my field if it's on my grave or in my hand. But when I do return, I do have to return all spell and trap cards on the field to the hand, and if I return 3 or more cards by this effect, and then my opponent's monsters lose 300 attack for each. So it makes to really power down stuff like Blue Eyes White Dragon and such. It doesn't affect god cards. Next up is another powerhouse combo. This is good for if you have Deep Sea Diva and or another card out on the field. Atlantean attack squads. Little squad kind of doubles. It's good because of its effect where it gains 800 attack if I control another face-up fish, sea serpent, or aqua type monster, and combo that with the field spell in this deck, and it's at least 1,000 extra attack for a grand total of 2,400. So you got yourself a low level, 2,400 attacker right there if you can do it with Deep Sea Diva or something. Next up, Atlantean Dragoons. it's a good card because it really gives you free direct attacks for any low level sea serpent type monsters in this deck. Uh, so you can summon him out, and if you have the right field spell out, you become level 3. You can use him to direct attack, or if you summon him out with a bunch of level 3 sea serpents out on the field, or lower sea serpents out on the field, uh, you can basically bypass all your opponent's more stronger monsters and head right for his life points. So yeah, but, it's still weak against a lot of the cards out here these days. So it's fun to use. Next up, I have my summoner monk for this deck. It stands the sacrifice and everything, but Atlantean heavy infantry. He's good because he's the other card I wanted to mention about in conjunction with Deep Sea Diva. You can pop this card out on the field if you summon Deep Sea Diva, use its effect, special summon, and then use heavy infantry's effect in the same main phase because there's really no limit to it. And you can summon, like if you have it in your hand, Atlantean attack squad. You got 2 level 1s and a level 2 right there, and squad gets its effect. But yeah, and then of course if you have infantry out on the field, you can also summon out dragoons and have its effect. You can direct attack with Diva. But yeah, it's still a good card to use with its good combo. Next up is Kodaris. This card is basically good because its effects is you can send one face of Yumi you can control to the graveyard and target up to 2 cards your opponent controls and send those cards to the graveyard. So if you're stuck in a rut, you got your Yumi field spell or the other field spell I have in here out, they're going to be treated as it. Pop that field spell, get rid of your opponent's strongest monsters, get a direct attack, or really fuck up your opponent's field strategy. But yeah, it's nice to have. Next up is Atlantean Marksman. There's a lot of cards out there that are like this. One in particular, Drak Glyba. You can attack. If you attack with it, destroy a monster, get another 1700 attack route. But this one, it's when I inflict battle damage, which technically direct damage counts as battle damage. I can summon out another level 4 lower Atlantean sea serpent type monster. So, like, get this out on the field, do damage, get out infantry or some of my deck, but infantry or dragoons, and get a direct attack. Whatever. Next up is Nightmare Penguin. It's the penguin. It's like another penguin soldier. All face of water monster, except for the boost, where all face of water monsters gain 200 attack. But when it's flipped face up, I can target a card that my opponent controls, and I can basically bounce that card back to their hand. So if I have some kind of iffy trap card, just flip some of this, or when it gets attacked and flipped, bounce the card back to their hand. They get pissed off easily. Next card is Deep Diver. It's good for if you want to try to search out for your better cards. Put it on top of your better monsters, put it on top of your deck. So yeah, like if you want to get Deep Sea Diva out after he gets destroyed, at the end of the damage step, if you had enough life points to survive, use Diver's effect, put Diva on the top of your deck, so on and so forth. Next up is kind of the card, kind of like Kodaris, but it's Lost Blue Breaker. This card's effect actually activates if you have another fish, sea serpent, or aqua type monster. You know, I can tribute it and destroy a spell or trap card on the field, which, you know, again, fucks up my opponent's strategy. But anyway, that's the monster lineup. Next up is spells, which I will start with my field spells. It's pretty obvious, you know, whatever. 3 Legendary Oceans. Legendary Oceans is good because of how its effect where it can downgrade all monsters in your hand, you know, water monsters it is, and on the field by 1, so you basically only need 1 tribute to summon out Poseidra if you're just normally summoning it. And of course, Dragoons, it downgrades it to level 3, so Dragoons gets its free attack, its direct attack. Next up is my Pot of Greed of the deck, which has greed in the name, Moray of Greed. Basically allows me to change up a bad hand of monsters if need be. You know, just all I gotta do is send 2 water monsters back to my deck, shuffle it, and draw 3. Easy way to search out for my Legendary Oceans. Next up is my other field searchers, Terraforming. You know, that helps me get at least all 3 in my hand. Usually top a lot with tough. I usually start out with a lot of that. Next up is Salvage. You know, basically a recycling card. After that is Aquajet. You know, this is good. This is a good card to have with Poseidra or Atlantean attack squad when its effect is in. Next up is Call of the Atlanteans. Call of the Atlanteans is a good way, once again, use Poseidra's effect. Activate it, summon a bunch of level 3 or lowers. Use Poseidra's effect. You know, special tribute him, special summon him, so on and so forth. Next up, Water Hazard. Good card to have. I mean, it keeps field presence. After that is Surface, which is kind of like Salvage, because it lets you basically summon a level 3 or fish, sea serpent, or aqua type in defense position, so you can get like infantry out on the field, use its effect, summon another monster, whatever. Next up is one of the only real staple spells I have in here, Monster Reborn. Once again for free summoning. Next up is the trap lineup, which I don't really have a lot of them in here. First up is Torrential Tribute. You know, I know I could have went with like Mirror Force with as much heavy use it's having these days, but really Tribute's like my first choice because I never really used it in the past. Never really had it to even use. After that is Gravity Bind, which can, you know, fuck me up, but it can also fuck my opponents up. So, you know, if their deck focuses around more level 4s and above, Gravity Bind can stop their attack. Of course, if they summon and exceeds, that's a different story. Next up, Aegis of the Dragon Lord. Well, Ocean Dragon Lord. Until the end phase, face up level 3 or lower water monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects. Which is good, because that means I can keep my monsters out on the field for one more turn. You know, give their effects more. You know, the next card, it would go good with Aegis, Tornado Wool. And use this when my Legendary Ocean's on the field, when Ocean being treated Yumi. If I combo with Aegis, I don't lose monsters and I don't lose life points. After that is the trap version of Yumi and a Legendary Ocean, Forgotten Temple of the Deep. You know, its effect is when this card is on the field, this card's name becomes Yumi. per turn. During either player's turn, I can target one face-up level 4 or lower fish, sea serpent, or half-attack monster I control. Banish that target. During my end phase, I can special summon a monster, or monsters of course, banished by this effect. So yeah, basically good recycle cards there. No protection. Protect my good and better cards. Next up, extra deck lineup. Right here. First is my synchros, which I'm only running 2 in this deck. Small extra deck. Guyanite, the Force of Earth, high level attacker, and Scrap Dragon. Pretty obvious one there, you know, Scrap Dragon's effect if I can get it on the field. Pop one of my useless face downs or whatever, and basically destroy one of my opponent's cards. Next is my Xyz monsters. Gachi Guntetsu. Underestimated card because, you know, it's useful in this deck with a Legendary Ocean being in it. You know, how it downgrades a lot of my level 3s to level 2. I can get him out a lot easier. You know, and plus he's got his whole protection effect, plus his boost. So if I can get like 4 monsters out on the field, like 2 attack squads and whatever else, I can Xyz 2 of my level 2, summon Gachi, boost my attack squad up by about 400 extra. Good combo. Next up is 2 wind-up Zen mains. One of these I actually gone through hell to get because I had to order it online, and the other I got out of a tin I opened. You know, a lot of people use this a lot, so about one of the only similar cards I use in this deck to a lot of other people. But yeah, it's got close to the same effect as Gachi, and if I have Ocean on the field, I can't really summon him, but you know, whatever. You know, there's a lot of cards in there that can get rid of it, and a lot of cards opponents can use. But because of his effect, it pisses most of my opponents off because I use his effect in chain with my Torrential, and you know, people are like claiming can't do that, blah blah blah. Next up is Muzu Rhythm, the String Djinn. He was one of the only sensible ones in my deck I saw fit to even use. But it's only because during the damage step when a Djinn monster I control the attacking opponent's monster, I can attach 1 Xyz material from this card. The attacking monster's attack is doubled until the end phase. The effect of only lasts. I can only use once per turn. But if I can like summon him, I can use the effect on himself, get 3,000 attack. You know, I could have used number 30 for that, but hell, I don't really want to deal with number 30's effect. Next up is another underestimatable card, Rhinosaurus. The reason I use him is because of his effect damage, where I destroy a monster by battle and sent to the graveyard. I can attach 1 Xyz material from this card and inflict 1,000 damage. So, say I have some way of boosting his attack up to about 3,000. You know, attack a monster, and how much damage my opponent takes. I can do a lot of more. Comes up to 3,000 or more, or less even. But yeah, that's a good lineup there. Anyways, that's my whole deck there. Like I said, I don't really run side deck. I don't really try to. But anyways, that's my Atlantean deck. Take it or leave it, like it or not, don't matter. Like I said, I'm not really looking for any kind of help on this deck. I like it the way it is. I do run it on DN, and it gets protected by the next ban list. I'm probably going to use it in a tournament as soon as I can. If not, time will tell. Anyways, Dragon Master Knight 7, Renegade Reaper, Land. Don't need the player, pick the game. Peace.